Have Palmeiras found themselves the next great Brazilian defensive midfield wonderkid? Just who is the player drawing comparisons with the legend Gilberto Silva? His name is Luis Felipe Pacheco da Costa, but you could call him Luis Felipe. At just 16 years old, Luis Felipe has quickly become a standout player in the Palmeiras academy. Since joining Palmeiras in 2020, he has helped his team to win the Sub-15 Paulista, the Marvel tournament, and was a key player in the Brazilian Sub-20 Championship. Luis Felipe exhibits a calm, composed style of football. His reading of the game has developed impressively, and strong positioning and an ability to break up plays are strengths in his game. He plays as a defensive midfielder, but is also comfortable as an orthodox midfielder. His current level of play suggests that he has a high potential ability ceiling. In order to develop to a high standard, he will need to make the breakthrough to first team football soon. Let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts and opinion on Luis Felipe and his future development. Today's video is brought to you in association with Passion4FM. Passion4FM is the #1 football manager blog dedicated to enhancing your football manager experience. On the website, you will find guides, tactics, shortlists, graphical and database updates, alongside in-depth articles about the world's best football manager simulation game. For this video, I've downloaded the Passion4FM Nextgen Wonderkid database. This database is the #1 resource for adding new real-world wonderkids to your brand new save games. Download it from the description and enhance your save games now. In today's video, I'm going to let Football Manager predict the future. Starting in 2024, I'm going to run a simulation that will look at Luis Felipe's career across the next 15 years. Let me know in the comments section down below how you think this one is going to turn out. Do you think that Luis Felipe can really have the potential ability to become a legend of the game like Gilberto Silva? Or do you think he's going to be just another Brazilian wonderkid who never truly realises his full potential? Whilst you're in the comments section down below, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and check out the rest of the Wonderkid series. In the Next Gen database and the beginning of this simulation, Luis Felipe starts the game with a great core of attributes for a 16-year-old central midfielder. Now, these are only estimations, and don't worry, they may fluctuate from save to save. And if you don't think that your Luis Felipe looks like a potential wonderkid at the start of the game, do not panic. There is always room for improvement. Now, when we look at the 3 core attribute groups, we can see that he still has some standout attributes. In terms of the technicals, now there is a lot of room for improvement here, but he does have 13 for first touch and 13 for technique. In the mentals, once again, there are a few weaknesses, but he does have some core strengths in terms of aggression, decisions, determination, and his work rate. And then in the physicals, he has what he needs to progress into the future. He has acceleration, agility, natural fitness, and pace, all as standouts. So the question here is, how much development can he get in the first 5 years of his career? The answer lies with how much first team football he's going to be exposed to. The big question is, can he break into Palmeiras' first team to get that development into an elite wonderkid? At the 5-year stage, Luis Felipe is now 21 years old, and we can see he's still at Palmeiras. Straight away, you're going to notice that there is some big steps forward in his progression. Looking at his playing time, he has indeed broken through into Palmeiras' first team, and that has allowed him to unlock some core development. He will go on to play 90 times, scoring 3 goals for Palmeiras in that first 5 years of his career. Looking at the attribute groups now, we can see in the technicals, it's still first touch, passing and technique that are standouts. In the mentals, aggression, composure, determination, flair, off the ball, vision and work rate all show signs of progression, with decisions standing out. In the physicals, acceleration, agility, natural fitness and pace are now all his key attributes, with balance, jumping reach, stamina and strength all developing nicely too. So across the first 5 years, there is big progression. Can he now kick on? Will he stay in the first team or will he move away? And how much more development can come in 5 to 10 years? After 10 years of his career, Luis Felipe is now 26 years old, and we can see that he has swapped Brazil for Germany, as we find him now playing for Red Bull Leipzig. The interesting thing here is he would actually have one stop along the path from Brazil to Germany, as firstly he would transfer to FC Porto for £15 million, and he would then be moved on to Leipzig for that exact same fee of £15 million. He would continue in the first team at Palmeiras before the first move. He has now had 115 appearances, scoring 4 goals for them. He would also be at Porto for 3 seasons and rather disappointingly only make 26 appearances. That would lead then to move him on to Red Bull Leipzig, where he has now played 88 times and scored 1 goal. With that reintroduction to first team football on a regular basis, we can see across the next 5 years of his career, he has actually had some remarkable development. In the 3 attribute categories, starting off in the technicals, whilst he is still weak in some areas, it's still the first touch, passing, tackling and technique that are standouts. In terms of the mentals, it's composure and decisions that are the real standouts, but he also scores highly for aggression, determination, off the ball, vision and work rate. And then in the physicals, it's all about the acceleration, agility, natural fitness and pace, whilst he also now scores really highly for balance, jumping reach and stamina. Strength has progressed, adding defensive midfielder to his description. So at this point, he has played 229 times in the first 10 years of his career. Has he hit his peak, or is there more development to come? At the 15-year stage of Luis Felipe's career, he's now 31 years old, and we find him still in Germany playing for Red Bull Leipzig. At this point of his career, after 15 years, he will have played 232 times for Red Bull Leipzig, scoring 14 goals, and that gives him career numbers of 373 first-team appearances, where he would score 18 goals. Now, at the end of the last jump forward, the question was there more development to come? Between 5 to 10 years, he had taken some big steps forward, and at the 10 to 15-year marker, we can see there are some subtle changes, but not the big leaps that we were seeing before. When we break down the 3 attribute groups, we can see that in the technicals, even though he still has some weaknesses, there are some real standouts here now, with first touch of 16, technique of 17, passing of 15. In the mentals, the composure and the decisions are the standouts, but he scores really highly for his aggression, anticipation, determination, flair off the ball, positioning and work rate. And then in the physicals, acceleration is 16, agility is 17, jumping reach of 16, natural fitness of 16 and pace of 16. This player has really impressed me. When you look at him at the start of the game, I did say don't worry if he doesn't look like a potential wonderkid, because there is room for development, and this is exactly what I mean. Moving forwards 15 years into his career, you can see that he has become a real consistent performer who is an elite wonderkid in the long run. The media description says he's just a defensive midfielder, but looking at his attributes and his playing time, you can see 373 first team appearances has really brought out a big amount of development. The question that I have though is just playing 90 times in the first 5 years and then 26 games for Porto, has that held him back in the long run? Do I think that you could sign him early on, put him in your first team and get more development from him? Absolutely. When you look at the player and what he has become, I do feel that a lack of first team football in the initial phases of his career may have held him back. And if you're willing to take that risk and go and put him straight into your first team, I think you can probably develop him past what you see on the screen. And maybe you could even unlock some more out of the player, certainly in terms of his technicals and across the other 2 categories also. Right then, let me know what you think of Luis Felipe and his development in the comment section down below. Do you think that he has the potential to still go on and become a Gilberto Silva? Do you think that if he was to have moved to the Premier League and tried to replicate Gilberto Silva's career, will he turn out that way? Do you think that where he is at in terms of his career is moderate for what he is as a wonderkid? Did you expect a little bit more? As I said, let me know in the comment section down below. And whilst you're there, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the Wonderkid series. And if you want this database so you can get hundreds of real-world, next-gen Wonderkids into your save games, you'll need the Passion4FM Nextgen database. There'll be a link to that in the description down below. Right then, for this video, I'm going to start to wrap it up. A big thank you for your attention and your time today. Hopefully, I'll see you on another video very soon.